What's up, family? It's your girl, Dr. Shonna, and we are live for Mental Health Fridays. How you all doing up in the chat? I see you all were here early. I like that, but I don't want to waste any time because we got to have class, y'all. It's got to be a good conversation. I got some disclaimers before we go ahead and get started, but first and foremost, the housekeeping. I'm going to need y'all to go ahead and share this video. I'm going to keep it PG, not even PG 13. I'm going to keep it PG because I want y'all to be able to talk about this with your children and with your friends and your community members and your colleagues and your co-workers and your church members and your mosque members and your temple members and whomever. I want you to be able to talk about it. So share the video. Go ahead, if you are on Facebook or YouTube, give the videos a thumb up. And most importantly, more than anything else, even more than a thumbs up, I want you all to engage in a chat room because we have to have a conversation about what's going on here. I'm going to give you guys some structure of what today's session is going to look like, and we're going to get into it without further ado. To everyone who's been asking me about my knee since knee surgery, feeling a lot better, feeling a lot better. My pain level is at about a 2. The pain really comes on when I'm going up and downstairs. So all the text messages and emails and phone calls I've received, I am super grateful to you guys. And this video comes on time because I know some people personalize. If I don't get back to their messages soon enough, they take it personally, they internalize it. We're going to have a great conversation about this tonight because I see it. I see it in the people, and some of the people who message me. They internalize things, they take things personally. Y'all got to get the hell up off the social media. Y'all got to learn how to get up off of social media because we're not comfortable with people taking time off for themselves. And if someone takes time off for themselves and you internalize it to be something wrong with you, there is a problem. There is a problem. And we're going to talk about that. So even though we're going to be having a conversation about our teenagers and how out of control it appears that our teenagers are, I want us to look at ourselves in this conversation today. Really look at ourselves because our teenagers are little examples of who we are, believe it or not. And I know some of y'all right now saying, no, not me. I'm not jumping on people's cars in Chicago. I'm not jumping 73-year-old men in Philadelphia. I'm not killing anybody. I'm not attacking anybody. So those little monsters are not reflections of me. I challenge that thought process. I challenge that. Now, you may not be jumping on people's cars. You may not be attacking 73-year-olds. You may not be killing anybody. You may not be robbing people. You may not be doing those things. But I'm going to tell you like this. Your mind is being programmed just like these teenagers' minds are being programmed. Whether we want to agree with that or not, is being programmed. And our teenagers are reflecting behaviors that are unbecoming. Check this out, y'all. Just like some of us have behaviors that are unbecoming. We're going to get into that today. So let me go ahead and play a video for you guys. Now that many of you guys are here, go ahead and share the video. Share the video, and make sure you converse in the chat. We're going to go ahead and play this video. And I want y'all to listen and take notes because y'all know how I get down. I will rewind and I will play and I will offer some feedback. So take your notes.
What language you speak, it doesn't matter how intelligent you are. It's not about what someone knows, it's about how your mind actually works.
We now know that many of the major social media companies hire individuals called attention engineers who borrow principles from Las Vegas casino gambling, among other places, to try to make these products as addictive as possible.
We are all vulnerable to social approval. We really care what other people think of us. When you upload a new photo of yourself, on Facebook. That's a moment where our mind is very vulnerable to knowing what other people think of my new profile photo. And so when we get new likes on our profile photo, Facebook, knowing this, could actually message me and say, oh, you have new likes on your profile photo. It knows that we'll be vulnerable to that moment because we all really care about when we're tagged in a photo or when we have a new profile photo. I mean, I think we can all feel it. And it's as if we've been infected. It's as if they've drilled a hole in the back of our head and now they've injected the virus and now we walk around searching for feedback using social media.
We know that engagement with social media and our cell phones releases a chemical called dopamine. Dopamine is the exact same chemical that makes us feel good when we smoke, when we drink, and when we gamble.
Let's stop right there for just a second, family. Let's stop right there for just a second, family. I want to see if y'all caught that part right there, because I want y'all to focus in on that part right there. If you need me to play it back, let me to play it back. But if you caught that right there, I need y'all to put that down in the chat. What was the takeaway with what you just heard him say? Now, I know we talked about this a number of times. I know I've brought it up before in my discussions. I know other people have brought it up, but I really do need this to sink in. I really do need this to sink in. So I'm gonna play it back. There you go, Miss B. There you go, Miss B. The dopamine. The dopamine. And it's unfortunate, but we're gonna get some education today, right? It's unfortunate that so many people miss that part. It's unfortunate that so many people do not understand the impact and why it is set up to be that way. This is not by accident that our teenagers are out in these streets tearing up. This is not by accident that grown behind women, I'm going to talk about it. I'm gonna talk about it. I told you my channel is changing. I'm no longer doing this stuff. Like I'm not mad at everybody. We got to get our community right. There's no accident while grown behind women who are mothers, daughters, sisters, teachers, nurses, doctors, you name it. There is no mistake why these grown behind women think it's cute to be twerking with thong bikinis on social media. Think it's cute. I just saw a video 2.5 seconds ago. I'm lying. It wasn't 2.5 seconds ago, but y'all get my point. I just saw a video right before I jumped online with a woman on Instagram who lit her boyfriend on fire from cheating. Why would you record something like that? So when I say these youth, because we're going to get into some of these videos with the youth, when I say these youth are reflections of us, we have the same behavior, that's exactly what I'm talking about. You may not be out there killing somebody, but you lighting your man on fire. You may not be out there jumping a 73-year-old man, but you are conducting live for everyone to see abusive tactics toward your children. You're calling them discipline, and then you wonder why you get a CPS case and your kids get removed because you recorded it for social media. For social media. So when we see our children out there, and I'm going to show y'all some videos of the kids. Don't worry, there's going to be a whole conversation tonight, right, y'all? It's Friday, Mental Health Friday. I'm going to show y'all some videos. But when we have children out there attacking people, jumping people, breaking vehicles, stomping on vehicles at red lights, killing senior citizens, whether on purpose or by accident, when we have them acting up, recording these things, putting it on social media, how do we blame them when we have so many adults doing reckless, irresponsible things on social media as well, for likes, for views, for comments, for shares, for followings, for popularity and fame? That's right, Dylan. The apple don't fall too far from the tree. But there's a reason why this is happening. There's a reason why this is happening. So let's go back to that video. I'm gonna need y'all to really listen to the video, because the video, the intro video, is going to create the framework for our conversation tonight. So you really gotta listen, or you're not gonna be able to be a part of the conversation. Now we already know, sidebar, we already know we're gonna have the dopamine addicts that's gonna come into this chat. Don't know what's going on, but they seek attention, right? The dopamine. You see what happens, right? They seek attention. They're just negative Nancy's and negative Nathans. They're going to come in here. They're going to say some ridiculous things in the chat. I'm going to need y'all to ignore them. I'm going to need y'all to learn how to ignore attention seekers on social media. I'm going to need y'all learn how to do that, because y'all be falling victim to the attention seekers. So let's go back and run this video back. Now you understand where the framework is coming from, this conversation, the conversation we're going to have. Let's run that back. And I'm not running back the whole thing. We're going to run back to about right here. There we go. Listen up, y'all.
When we have a new profile photo. I mean, I think we can all feel it. And it's as if we've been infected. It's if they've drilled a hole in the back of our head, and now they've injected the virus, and now we walk around searching for feedback using social media.
We know that engagement with social media and our cell phones releases a chemical called dopamine. Dopamine is the exact same chemical that makes us feel good when we smoke, when we drink, and when we gamble. In other words, it's highly, highly addictive. You have an entire generation that has access to an addictive, numbing chemical called dopamine through social media and cell phones as they're going through the high stress. They don't have the coping mechanisms to deal with stress. So when significant stress starts to show up in their lives, they're not turning to a person, they're turning to social media. They're turning to these things which offer temporary relief. We know, the science is clear, we know that people who spend more time on Facebook suffer higher rates of depression than people who spend less time on Facebook. That's a problem. That's an addiction. If you're sitting in a meeting with people you're supposed to be listening to and speaking, and you put your phone on the table, you're just not that important to me. Right? So you have an addicted generation that doesn't have the skill set to ask for help.
We have an addictive generation that does not have the skill set to ask for help. Addiction. When we think of addiction, we think of the alcoholic, we think of the pill popper, we think of fentanyl, we think of addicted to marijuana, we think of crackheads, we think of heroin addicts. When we think of addiction, we think of addiction in the terms of what the world has told us addiction is. And even though this was a really good video, the videos that I'm about to show you is going to highlight what I'm about to say. This video that I just showed you guys is not a new video. It's been out for a few years now. And I think that them just focusing on depression, even though depression can show up as violence in our youth, I think is an understatement. I think that video needs to go back and be redone to include antisocial behaviors, conduct disorders. I think it needs to go back to include language that helps us to recognize that violence, when you show violence over and over and over and over again, and you're making it entertaining, like social media does, when you're making it entertaining, it is to hook you in. It brings laughter among these young people. It brings interest among these young people. They see the popularity with the likes. They see the popularity with the follows. They see the popularity with the shares. And some of these people only got 2 people following them, but they have hundreds of thousands and millions of views for doing some outlandish, violent behaviors that get shared, and it becomes addictive. It becomes addictive. And the youth are watching these things. You have grown behind people as well, going into public stores, public accommodations, and they're doing pranks. They're antagonizing people. They're aggravating people. They're provoking people. And somebody is recording so that they can upload it and share it. So if we see this kind of behavior with the adults, why are we surprised when our teenagers are tearing up? Why are we surprised? Just as social media is designed to take large portions of your day and fragment your attention, meaning they break up your attention. They break up your attention, they bring you in, and then they get you hooked. And they watch your behavior. They see the kind of things you're liking. They're seeing the kind of things that you're scrolling on, and they're feeding you more of it. And the artificial intelligence gets crazier, y'all. They know if you're white. They know if you're black. They know if you're Hispanic. They know if you're Asian. They know if you're Indian. And they feed you the material that matches your emotion. It's called influence engineering, or some people call it attention engineering. That's what it is. Influence, attention, whatever language you want to use. You can Google both of it. It'll tell you the same thing. They engineer it in a way to keep your attention hooked on the phone. And that's what these kids are doing, y'all. They're seeing other children doing out of control, disrespectful. We as adults, we say criminalistic, but in the world of law enforcement, they call it juvenile offenses because they're not going to go to jail. Oh, we're going to talk about this, y'all. They're not going to go to jail. So they're doing these violent acts. Violent acts. And once they post it, they feed more videos. And if that video that got fed to that teenager's phone that just posted his act of violence, if that new video that comes on his phone has more views than him, he's addicted. He goes out, he records something else to get even more attention. He gets even smarter. He gets even creative. He puts it out there because now he's driven to get more likes, more comments, more shares, more following for his crazy, outlandish, disrespectful, criminalistic act because he doesn't want the next person to get more attention than him. And this is done by design. Kendrick says, Dr. Shonna, today I was talking to my coworker about the issue. What's going on, community? I said to him, even when I be my clock, I look how people treat one is sick. Shonna, you make a good point to think about it. Thanks, Shonna. Dr. Shonna for Mentality's Mind. Thank you for that, Kendrick. Right? We have to ask that question. We have to say, community, what's going on? We have to really look and understand what's happening here because our children cannot be without their phones. I'm going to show you guys a video right now to give you guys some context about what happens when you take a child's phone or some type of device that keeps them connected to the internet. I'm going to show you. This is an old video, y'all, but we have to talk about this video. It's an old video, a very relevant video, okay? I want you to think about this video for just a second because we're talking about just how addicted these kids are. We're talking about the dopamine levels in their brain, even our brains, right? We're talking about the dopamine level. Because you see, before I put this video on, family, let me be able to say this to y'all. I'm telling you, the same thing that's happening with our youth is happening with the adults. The difference is our teens, they don't got nothing to lose. So we as adults, we try to keep some of our stuff under control because we have our jobs to lose. We have our kids to lose. We have our freedom to lose. We have some things to lose. So even though there's adults out there posting things that they should not be posting for views, for shares, for likes, for follows, they're posting things that they should not be posting, but they're they're a little bit more cautious because they have more weighing on them to lose. Whereas these young kids ain't got nothing to lose. So let me tell you what happens with the brain. I already told you the dopamine part of the brain is activated. It's an addiction. These kids are going for a constant high. What happens when you remove access to a crackhead's crack? Okay, if y'all don't like crackheads and you want to talk about something else, you could talk about heroin addict, you could talk about whatever kind of addict, but you know what I'm talking about. When you remove an addict's drug, come on, some of y'all, don't start acting brand new with me, y'all. Let me see it in the chat. Don't start acting brand new with me, y'all. Right? Withdrawal. But what does that look like behaviorally? What does withdrawal? There you go. That's what I was looking for. They act out. They act out. When you remove, that's right, prognosis. When you remove an addict's drug, ooh, baby. Listen, I'm telling on my family. Trying not to. I ain't gonna tell no names though, y'all, because some people be sensitive. You know, I can tell my story. My story don't affect me, but some people be sensitive if you blow up their spots. But you know, everyone has addicts in their family. And I remember, whoo, Lord Jesus, I remember an addict. I'm just gonna say an addict in my family. Baby, if this person drug was removed, you did not have, if that person did not have access to their drug, whether access is their money, if access is you put them in a rehab program. Oh, can I just tell you the violence that came out of some of these people? Can I just, oh, yes, somebody said aggressively. Can I just tell you how people turn up? You take their crack. Y'all remember crack, right? Crack is whack. But y'all remember crack from the 80s, right? Oh, I mean, I know a lot of us had crackers in our family. Let's not act like we came from sober families. You better not even threaten. You better not even threaten to take a family member crack from them or access to crack. Baby, they would cuss you out so bad, and some of them were so strong and so aggressive and so violent, they would knock your behind down. The cops will come, the cops will put them in jail, and they won't even know what happened. Because when they are enraged, because they want their drug, when they are enraged, they can't even think rationally. So I want y'all to keep that in perspective when you see this video. I want y'all to keep that in perspective when it comes to addicts. Because we already started talking about how aggressive and violent they can become, right? You don't play around with their drug. They can become very aggressive and violent. Let me show you about this kid right here. Now, this is not a new video. This video is old, maybe like 5 months old. I'm going to have the time stamp on the video. But I want y'all to pay attention. There's no sound. There's no sound. But I want y'all to pay attention to this video. Okay?
Just take
You remember that video? Y'all remember that video? I thought it was 5 months ago. That was 2 months ago. A high school. She took his Nintendo Switch. His Nintendo Switch. And he flipped out. Now, granted, he was in a school, an alternative school for children with behaviors. But he flipped out. And he got angry. He pushed that lady so hard, knocked her behind out, pummeled her, closed fist, stumped her. And even when they pulled him off of her, he was still stomping her over a Nintendo Switch. Now, some people's going to say, well, that's just a video game. I don't know how many of y'all kids got Nintendo Switch, but that Switch is more than just a video game. That Switch, you can be on social media with that Switch. You can watch YouTube with that Switch. You can play games while interacting with other children with that Switch. Let me tell you what happens when you're on social media or other devices that pull your attention away from reality. Do you know when you are on these devices, when your children are on the devices, even us, when you're on these devices, do you know it automatically reduces the capacity for your ability to concentrate? It's a permanent reduction. You can look it up. Don't believe my word. Don't listen to Dr. Shonna. Look it up. It's a permanent reduction. So like he said in the video, the video I opened this show up with, right? The guy said, when you can be in a meeting and you take your phone out and put it on a desk or use it, it communicates you're not important to me. If you are in school and you're in school to listen, to learn, for whatever reason, whether you like school or not, whatever, you send your child to school, there are rules that has to be followed. And you're on a device, you're not paying attention to what's happening in class. And the minute the device is taken from you, it's an attack. And this is the stuff I get right here. This is the stuff I get right here. I had to bring it up. Teachers shouldn't touch students' property. A teacher in junior high school stole my friend's DS, gave it to her son for Christmas. Students shouldn't bring those things to school. How about that? You see what I mean? What I'm saying? This society has become sick. This society has become sick. And we're feeding this sickness. We're feeding the sickness. We're basically saying your rules for your establishment don't matter to me. I'm going to do whatever I want to do. Whatever I want to do, I'm going to do it. And that's what we're seeing with these children. The rules don't matter anymore. It doesn't matter. They're going to do what they want to do, and no one is going to stop them. And guess what? Guess what? Many of the parents that say things like that, and I don't know about the person that put that there. I don't know her personally, so don't take it personally. But many of the parents that say things like that, many of them have lost control of their kids too. They try to minimize their children's bad behavior. Your children attacked the teacher, knocked her behind out, stomped her out, continue to punch on her and stomp her when she's not conscious, And I bet you parents would say, well, you should have never took his switch. Really? That's what we doing in 2023? Wow. I don't know about y'all, baby, but I grew up differently. And trust me, we may not have smartphones when I was growing up, but we had pages. And pages weren't allowed in school. And I'm not going to tell you that we didn't bring them into the school. But those of us who did not want to get our pages taken, we just turned it off. And we kept it in our book bags and we didn't take it out. See, we weren't addicted. That's why we talking about addiction, y'all. We were not addicted to our pages. When school was over or there was lunch and you went out for lunch, if you was an upperclassman, you turned on your pager, you see what calls was coming through. Who was paging you? When you got back to the school, you turned off your page and you put it in your book bag, because the rule when I was growing up, see, I don't know when y'all was growing up, but when I was growing up, the rule was your pager will be confiscated. And we respected that. And our parents respected that. But the kids today, man, woo, we blaming the kids when we see these children jumping up and down on cars, smashing out people's windows. And we're going to play that video too. We're going to play that video. Jumping up on people's cars, smashing out windows. And we saying, well, they should have never did this. That's not right. Oh, that was excessive force. They didn't have to beat him like that. That person didn't have to shoot him. They didn't have to do that. Our kids are out of control. Out of control. Out of control. And we make excuses. But we don't stop and say, damn, our children are addicted to social media. Man, the dopamine in their brain is out of control. It's like they need a fix. Our children are constantly scrolling, constantly looking for likes, constantly looking for follows, constantly looking for popularity, constantly looking for comments, shares. They're constantly putting filters on their faces. They're constantly twerking. They're constantly fighting. They're constantly cursing. They're constantly smoking weed. They're constantly drinking, as though their parents don't follow them. See, I'm not understanding that, family. Because you see, I don't know. Some people just grew up differently, right? No disrespect. However, when I was growing up, I can only talk about myself. When I was growing up, to be on social media, smoking or drinking, if social media was out during that time, unheard of in my family. What? Let somebody see what you was doing. And it got back to your parents. You know why? Because we had respect for our parents. We had respect for our parents. There were certain things that we couldn't say. There were certain things that we couldn't do. There were certain things that would get our behinds punished. We had to have respect for our parents and other adults. But for some reason, on social media, we don't even have parents. All due respect, y'all. All due respect. Don't get in your bag. I'm just trying to tell y'all. We don't even have parents that respect themselves on social media. Hello? LG says, I'm not taking their phones because they are dangerous and I'm too old to be fighting them. And I thank you for your honesty. I thank you for your honesty, because that's where our world has gone. Our adults are afraid of the children. Our parents are afraid of the children. Our teachers are afraid of the children. Our church leaders and church members are afraid of the children. Our community members are afraid of the children. Our security guards are afraid of the children. Our law enforcement are afraid of the children. Our aunties, our uncles, our grandmas are afraid of the children. And our children, y'all better listen up here, ain't afraid of none of them. Ain't that some stuff? Ain't afraid of none of them. Right? There you go. Stop the OGs don't even want the beef with the children. What has this world come to when the adults don't want the smoke with the kids? What is happening? What is happening? What is happening? Our children are engineered to care about what other people think about them. Adults are engineered to care about what other people think about them. See, some people would say that ain't nothing new. I'm gonna show you another video, right? Some people would say that ain't nothing new. People always historically thought or cared about what other people thought about them. And you'll be correct. And in my humble opinion, I feel it's a different level now. See, back in the days, our family members did our damage to us, right? Our family members would say, you know, you shouldn't wear that. You're too fat. Ain't nobody want nobody who's stupid. You better learn how to do this. Or whatever was the cruel things that our parents used to say, our family members or adults around us used to say, because they wanted us to be a certain kind of way. So they used to say things that made us insecure about whatever. Insecure about our bodies, insecure about our looks, insecure about our weight, insecure about our intelligence, insecure in so many different areas. Back in the days, mainly it was intrafamilial, came from our family back in the days, or people close to us back in the days. But now, not only is it family, it's also external validation. It's also the need to have social proof. People you don't even know. People who don't know nothing about you, people that ain't never gonna meet you a day in their life, people that don't care if you got food in your refrigerator or clothes in your back, people that don't know a goddamn thing about you. You care what they think. And that's that dopamine addiction. That's that addiction right there. Because now so many people want to be popular. These children are out here trying to be popular. They want to please their friends, their inner circle, and people who they don't even know. And that's what we came on to. Let's look at another video. Let's look at another video. Whew, Father, these videos are crazy, y'all. We're going to just go through all these videos, okay? All these videos. Come on, let's go through this one.
Take away any sort of comfort that I feel walking down the street. It just makes me sick.
The 34-year-old woman seen brutally attacked in this video is speaking out. While she doesn't want to show her face, she says she's sharing her story in hopes to help someone else.
I just want everyone to be really cautious, like walking around, which shouldn't happen. It shouldn't have to be like that.
We spoke with the victim, says he's in disbelief watching the video.
You can't imagine. Sorry. Absolute brutality. Completely inhumane. I don't know how a human being can do that to another human being, much less a teenager.
Philadelphia police are looking for 8 suspects involved in the assault at 15th and Chestnut. Investigators say it happened just after 7 p.m. on February 23rd.
It was like not even like fully dark yet, and there was tons of people around. They just kept walking. Like nobody stopped until I was, I guess, unconscious, which I don't remember, obviously.
She says she has a message for her.
New video shows the disturbing attack in downtown Crossing. A 20-year-old woman beaten and kicked by a group of juveniles while she's already down, one of them as young as 12 years old.
That was baffling, honestly. It was incredible to see that because I've never seen any type of thing like that in my life ever.
Julie Mendez works at the smoke shop right in front of where this happened. She ran out to try to help.
It was just crazy. She was trying to take her bags. I was trying to grab them to take her bag. It was just insane.
They're looking for trouble. Everywhere.
Several police reports show a trend of violence in the heavily trafficked area over the past month. At the Silvertone Bar, where kids broke a window, and at the Black Seed Cafe, where there was another fight.
He was on a New York subway at 1 a.m. when he says he saw half a dozen teenagers hassling an elderly.
Let me stop that for a second. Let me just stop that for a second. I want to show you those two clips. I'm going to go to this next one. So what are we saying about this? What are we saying about this? See, I knew somebody was going to say this, but don't worry, I got something for you too. I knew somebody was going to say this because I want us to change the way we think. This right here, and this is just a teachable moment. I did that on purpose. I did it on purpose because I knew someone was going to say that. Now, is that a false statement? It's not a false statement. We've seen it. You all see it, right? They said black boys doing this, but guess what? It was split. It was black girls and black boys. Because girls and women, like Queen Mother Van Zant said, they're men in skirts. They're boys in skirts. But I knew somebody was going to say this. Let me tell you why I knew somebody was going to say this. Because we're socially engineered to think that way. I'm going to prove it to y'all in this video. Y'all stay tuned, baby. Don't hang up on me now. Watch the video. I'm going to prove it to you. We are socially engineered to think that way. Every time you turn on your phone as a black person or a white person or an Asian person, they're going to feed you videos that look like you. They're going to feed you videos that reflect the things that impact you emotionally. I told y'all to look it up. I told y'all to write down influence engineering or attention engineering and look it up. It's done intentionally. It's done on purpose. And I'm going to show you white kids beating the hell out of people too. I'm going to show y'all. Because if you don't look for it, you ain't going to find it. And if you don't look for it and you only open what they give you, then now you believe that that's the only people that are attacking. Our youth is out of control. I didn't say our black youth are out of control. I said our youth are out of control. Our white youth are twerking. Our white women are twerking. Our black youth are twerking. Our black women are twerking. Our white men are doing ridiculous, outlandish things, disrespectful things, aggressive things, violent things. Our black people, everybody is going crazy. But they want you to only see it one way. Because influence engineering is set up to pay attention to your behaviors and to influence your behaviors. That's right. That's right, Mrs. Tanya. It's called AI, artificial intelligence. It's done that way. The minute you open a video and you click, it records what you like, what and how long you stay on that video, how long you watch it. They know the kind of emotion it evokes and they give you more of it. That's what they do. And then we out here, black boys doing this. And I'm not picking on the person who said that. I'm not. So don't take it personal, right? Everybody's acting up. Everybody, not just Hispanic, everybody acting up. I'm not picking on the person that's doing it, but I'm saying We have to sit in there and we have to admit to ourselves when we are being programmed, when we ourselves are being influenced. See, we sitting down here, we're watching these videos, and we're formulating thoughts about it. It's those boys, those girls, those men, those women. Pointing. It's everybody. It's everybody. Like I said, the more you have to lose, the less crazy things you're going to do. To a degree. Because we know people higher up doing crazy things and getting caught out there too, right? Because everybody like attention, everybody like likes, follows, comments, everybody like a viral video. So they catching jokers out there left and right. They catching politicians out there sleeping with transgender people. They catching law enforcement people, high officials with their children, killing people and getting locked. They're catching everybody now. Everybody's getting caught. But I want you to know that we are being engineered to behave and act a certain way. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about this right here. Somebody says, before internet, you barely saw camel toe, yoga pants, internet program. We're going to talk about before internet. I got some information on that too. We're going to talk about it. But let me tell you what's happening to our youth. See, I have to sit down and I have to think to myself, I got children just like anyone else has children that do stupid things. When you say, baby, you ain't think about that? You ain't think about the concept? I don't know about y'all, but I got children, especially my son, the middle child. It makes my hair gray. The middle child makes my hair gray. And I sit down, I ask the middle child all the time, you ain't think about that? Last night, I had a very important conversation with my middle child. I'm going to be very transparent with you. So I ain't going to lie to y'all. I want y'all to know what I go through, and I want y'all to know what I experience. And if some of y'all relate to me, great. If you don't relate to me, great. I put it out there because I don't care about your likes, your follows, your comments about what I put out there, because I know somebody, even if it's one person, can feel me, can understand, and maybe it can help them as well. That's why I share. But let me tell you something. Last night, I decided to address my son from a situation. Now, my children and I, my whole family, we're in what's that called on iPhone when you can see everybody's location. I got both phones. I'm a Droid person, but I got both phones. My children got iPhones. I got a Droid and an iPhone because I need to be able to communicate with them how they communicate. They like their memes, they like their emojis, they like all that other good stuff. So I want to be able to communicate with my children. So I'm on iPhone. And we're all in that family thing where you could just see where everyone's location is. Anyone else do something like that? Anybody else have that? But I do. And so my son is home from college. He's now a junior, woo-hoo, in an engineering college, woo-hoo, in upstate New York. So my son is home. He says, Mom, can I get the car? Now, y'all know I'd be nervous giving him my car because last year when he came home from college, he got a speeding ticket that was above the speeding limit. Like when I say above, I'm like, how did they let you go without calling me? It was bad. It was bad. But I'm figuring maybe he's grown up. I'm going to give him an opportunity. He won't take the car. But this time I said no, thinking that's going to stop him. That stuff don't stop these kids anymore. These kids know how to get around. He got on a train, took the train express into New York City from Jersey. And I'm watching him on a location. I seen this boy is in Brooklyn. Who he know in Brooklyn, I have no idea. But he in Brooklyn. Then I see he on the move, so he must have got in somebody's car because they moving fast and they just going from one borough to the other borough and they ended up in the Bronx. Now, y'all know I'm from the Bronx. I know the Bronx like the back of my hand. And I even know as a child, some areas in the Bronx as a child I didn't go to. So guess what? In 2023, I damn sure ain't going to those areas. And I see he stopped dead in the middle of Crotona Park. Do y'all know Crotona Park? I looked at the time. I said, it's almost midnight. He's in Crotona Park. I'm angry now. Now, y'all know. I know some of y'all don't like it, but I don't care. Y'all know I got an officer in my home. We lying down. And I'm trying to keep my composure. And then I said, babe, this boy, I couldn't hold it anymore. Babe, this boy's at Crotona Park. He goes, I know, I just saw the location. You saw it? And I'm upset. I'm angry. But I said, you know what? Let me call my brother who's in the Bronx. And I said, you better call your nephew. You better go get your nephew. And my son is 19. Because mothers worry about their kids all the time. It never stops. I had to manage my own emotion. Because my fear, I'm going to be honest with y'all, my fear took over because I know what happens in Crotona Park. I know what happens, especially when you have a male child. I know what happens in Crotona Park. And I know males, not that females aren't, but I know males are more aggressive than women. Okay? I know these youth are trying to get likes on social media. They're trying to get follows. These youth will look for a target. I know it was my fear. I know it was my anxiety, but they will look for a target. My child has never been raised in any of those kinds of neighborhoods. I got afraid because I started to feel like I didn't teach him to survive in those environments. I had no choice but to survive in that environment. He don't know what it feels like to be jumped by 30 people. I know what it feels like to be jumped by 30 people. I know what it feels like. He don't know what it feels like. I know what it feels like to be on a train and be like, okay, they're about to set it off. I'm going to grab one of these bitches. I know what that, I'm just being, I said I was going to curse, but y'all got me hyped now. I know what it feels like. I know what it feels like to say, I know, oh, I know it's about to go down. I'm about to get jumped right now. It's my night. I'm about to get one of these. I know what that feels like. He don't know what that feels like. So I panicked. And I called my brother. And I was like, bro, your nephew is in Crotona Park. You better call him. You better get him. I'm done. I can't keep talking to this boy. He don't listen to nobody. Why is he in Crotona Park and it's 1 o'clock in the morning? He said, Crotona Park? Yo, let me call. I'm going to hit you back. He hang up. My brother don't live too far from Crotona Park. So I text my son and I said, you better make better choices in life. I didn't say you better, but if my phone was around me, I'll read the direct text to you. But something to the effects like, you know, in life, you only get one shot. Some mistakes you can do over, but many of them you cannot. Some mistakes will cost you your freedom. Some mistakes might cost you your life. Goals, long-term goals should always be your focus. I sent you to college so that you can graduate college debt-free. I pay for your college. You have no loans whatsoever. I pay for your college. If this is not your long-term goal, let me know. But if you're hanging out at 1 o'clock in the morning and you're in the street, I'm very concerned what your long-term goals are. And I'm concerned about the people you hanging around. And I just left it like that. So he came home and we had a conversation. So I want y'all to know that social media and all those other influences out there, it really does interfere with the long-term goals of our children. Our youth don't have goals like they used to. Our youth do not have goals like they used to. You ask many of our youth where they're going to be at in 3 years from now, 5 years from now. They have these grandiose ideas. And I'm not saying that it won't come true for some of them, but for majority of them, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. I don't know about anybody else, and I can't tell anybody else how to parent, but in this house, if I'm investing in you, there's rules that you got to live by, baby. I don't care how old you are. There's rules you got to live by. And we had our adult conversation, a very adult conversation. Now, I don't know if it's going to last. I do like what I've been seeing for the last few days, but I don't know if it's going to last. Just being honest with y'all. But I had to remind him who he is and where he's going. And here's what he said to me. Because my partner was like, babe, you talked to him yet? What did he say? And I ate that. As a parent, now I know some of you are going to say, well, that's ridiculous. These kids are ridiculous. I'll eat it. I'll take it. But what I said to him was how I felt. And his response is, I know you love me and I know you care for me. And I'm not going to say you don't push me, you don't encourage me, you're not by my side. I am who I am because of you. He said, however, you don't give me credit. Now I'm thinking the whole entire time, I give you credit all the time. This is what I'm thinking as a parent. And he said, you don't give me credit. Now, the stuff he want credit for when I was growing up as a kid, you ain't get credit for this shit. You just did it. But I have to respect how he feels, right? So he said, I got up every day on my own to get to class for the last 2 years. And you don't even say anything about that. I have to eat it. Because I don't call and say, great job. You got to class today? I don't say that. I ate it. I get myself to and from college on my own. Now, I ain't say to him, on my own, you use my credit card, you put the flights on me. I didn't say that. I said, okay. He said, you don't give me credit for that. In my head, I'm like, give me credit. It's my credit you using. But I didn't say that. I said, okay. So you're right. I don't commend you on that. You're right. He said, I created my own resume. I said, okay. And you don't give me credit for that. So he started going down a list of everything he has been doing that I don't give him credit for. And so he says, but what you point out is the things that you deem that I'm doing, that it ain't good. You don't give me credit that I have also kept myself alive. You don't give me credit that I've also protected myself. You don't give me credit that I haven't been caught up in nothing crazy since the last incident. Now, don't act like he ain't never been involved with something, because he has. He said since the last incident. You don't give me credit for that. You still see me as your little boy, and I get it. I have to eat that. I have to eat that. And I said, okay. I said, I'll give you credit for those things. However, and I reiterated, and we left it like that. So here's the thing. I'm going to put up somebody's thing right there, right? Somebody said, no offense, but he sounds soft. What makes you think he sounds soft? You don't know anything about my son. But what makes you think that he sounds, what about that? You see, the reason why I'm highlighting this offense, and it is an offense. It is an offense. So don't say no offense. Take your ownership for that. It is an offense. But let me tell you why I'm highlighting this. Because this is a reason why our children feel like they have nobody where they can be transparent. I'm not even going to get into males and how men feel expressing themselves to women. And we don't even teach our boys how to do that. So when they call, when they get older and they get in these relationships and their relationships don't last and the women don't want to have nothing to do with them because they're emotionally unavailable, who do we blame? Do we blame the kid for being emotionally available? I'll tell you who I put that onus on. I put that onus on people that make comments like this. He sounds soft. Because y'all ruining these children. These children don't know how to process their emotions. These children don't know how to communicate their feelings. These children don't know how to problem solve. These children don't know how to resolve conflict. These children don't know how to be in relationship. These children are detached. These children are committing suicide. So I put that comment there on purpose. On purpose. Because we are these children's parents. I raised both of my adult children. My youngest one is still being raised. He's being raised the same way. But I'm talking about my adult children. I raised both of them to be prepared for relationships. To be prepared for relationships, plural, not just romantic relationships. I raised both of them to be prepared for relationships. And an important ingredient in healthy relationship is communication and being able to process emotions, feelings, having empathy. Those things are all important. But when we start saying things like people are too soft, boys are too soft because they're expressing how they feel, then you wonder why we have toxicity running rampant in these streets. You wonder why they got to pretend on social media to be hard. And to be hard is to whip your behind when you are in public walking to the store to prove their point that they're not soft. Watch that energy you put out. Watch that vibration you let out. Because you might run into one of those male children I'm talking about that have to prove their point that they hard and they ain't soft. And they might prove it by whipping your behind. Because that's what our children are doing right now. They're whooping our behinds. And they don't care what age you are. They don't care what sex you are. They don't care what race you are. These children are whipping our behinds to prove that they ain't soft. Watch your words, baby girl. Watch your words. Energy is serious. Sister Mr. B says, my sister called me the other day crying about her kids, 18 and 20. Don't appreciate what she do for them. I personally think that she spoiled them. But I just listen. She doesn't like when truths are pointed out to her. One thing I ain't doing is spoiling my kids, baby. But I'm going to teach them how to process their emotions. You better be right about that one. I can't be a therapist and don't teach that to my children, but I'm asking you guys to teach that in your relationship. Does that make sense, family? Come on. Come on. I'm working with people every day to help people process their emotions, to learn how to identify their pain so they can stop acting out in their relationship. So if I'm teaching that to my patients, why won't I teach that to my children? My children and I are in a relationship with each other. I am his safe space. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing. See, I don't want my child, none of my children. I got 3 of them suckers, 2 boys and 1 girl. I don't want any of my children to bring home any unemotional people. Leave those emotionally detached and unavailable people where you found them with their mamas and their daddies. Don't bring them here. Don't bring them here. If they can't express themselves and ask the questions and regulate their emotions, if they can't sit down and have a conversation, don't bring them here because I don't want grandbabies that reflect their behavior. You're damn right. That's right. I discriminate to who my kids date. I'm trying to tell y'all, I discriminate on who my kids date. Because that's my legacy. I don't want to be a grandma to no rugrats, baby. I don't want to be no grandma to no children who are on TikTok and Instagram twerking with their mama. I'm just telling y'all the truth. I don't want to be no grandma to a children that my son killed their mama because he can't regulate his emotions and he can't talk about his emotions and he's afraid of a pair soft. So now he got to prove his point by knocking her out. I'll pass. Deuces, you can keep that. You can have that. Good luck with that. Let me show you whatever. Let me show you something else. The other type of grandma I don't want to be to children who act like this. Because they got to prove their point because they hard.
Passenger. Klotz says one of the teens lit a joint and used the lighter to set the man's hair on fire. The outraged meteorologist says when he told them to knock it off, they turned on him.
They decided.
Subway at 1 a.m. when he says he saw half a dozen teenagers hassling an elderly passenger. Klotz says one of the teens lit a joint and used New York subway at 1 a.m. when he says he saw half a dozen teenagers hassling an elderly passenger. Klotz says one of the teens lit a joint and used the lighter to set the man's hair on fire. The outraged meteorologist says when he told them to knock it off, they turned on him.
They decided, all right, if he's not going to get it, then you're going to get it. And boy, did they give it to me.
Klotz posted this video right after the attack. I spoke to Klotz today.
I caught a left hook, a pretty good one, and then I end up on the ground and I'm getting stomped on. So I was just really doing my best to like protect my head and my neck.
Reign of terror, says the New York Post front page. Cops arrested 3 teenagers, but they were not charged and were later released. And that's sparking outrage.
Police are searching for a group of teenagers after they allegedly attacked a 17-year-old in East Village. Officials say the victim was walking near the corner of East 4th Street and Lafayette Street on April 8th. That's when he was approached by the group. According to police, one of them punched the 17-year-old in the face and the other 4 stole his wallet. That victim suffered a cut lip and 2 dislodged teeth. If you have any information or recognize the suspects on your screen, call Crime Stoppers. That number, 800-577-TIPS.
On Monday night, around 11:30 at the 15th Street SEPTA station, this transit worker was setting up a work zone for his crew when he was brutally attacked.
There was no words passed. There was no reason. They just attacked them. And it's, sometimes almost like they get points or they have this game going, they just jump on somebody.
10 teenagers can be seen on the screen at one point. And while the SEPTA employee is okay today, the attack prompted the head of the Transit Workers Union to say enough is enough.
In this incident, this man says he was right here in River North with restaurants and bars. He was just walking when people walked up from behind him, started attacking, hitting him in the face.
In the hospital, they told me that I was just a lucky guy because this could be like really worse. They thought I have to have like surgery or something.
David Osorio still had blood on his clothes this afternoon after arriving home from the hospital. He was meeting up with his friends last night around 11. He says a group of guys who looked as young as 16 attacked him near Wells and Huron. After they hit him, he says he essentially played dead on the ground, but when he got up and went inside his car, he says the group ran back. The car was locked, so they banged on the windshield. You can see the cracked glass here. But Osorio says he got away driving to Stroger Hospital. He is the latest victim after police have warned of teens randomly attacking people in downtown just this week.
Even though we...
And Lynn, she says she...
Is that hard enough for you? Is that hard enough for you? This is what these kids do. They like to do it. They're being influenced. It's being recorded. It's being shared. It's on the news. These children are walking around with vacant esteems because they're constantly comparing themselves to other people. They're constantly trying to prove themselves as a man. They're trying to prove themselves as a young lady. They're trying to prove themselves from being from the hood. They're trying to prove themselves for being bout it. They trying to prove themselves. I ain't afraid. I ain't beaten. All these children ain't in gangs, baby. They're not all in gangs. Let me tell you something. Our foundation is eroding. Okay? How we behave with each other and how we behave toward others. The foundation is eroding. Growing up, I don't know if y'all been told this, but growing up, it was the golden rule. Do unto others as you want people to do to you. Treat other people how you want to be treated. Oh no. Do we even teach our children that anymore? Do we even teach our children treat people how you want to be treated? Do we even teach our children about energy, about karma, about behaviors, about how this will come back and haunt them? It would impact them. Do we even teach our children about that anymore? We don't even treat each other like that as adults. I see nasty negative comments all the time, all up and down social media. Whatever happened to if you don't got nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all? Whatever happened to if you don't like what somebody is saying, walk away. Just go another. You don't got to entertain them. Whatever happened to if you don't agree with them, that's okay. You ain't got to say nothing. You ain't got to argue with these people. What you got to prove? Whatever happened to that? That's right, Mark Reed. Mark Reed said, we must know it to teach it. You raised an excellent point, Mark Reed. The problem is many of us, I said at the beginning of the video, some of these children, I say our children because they are our youth. And I see people in here, who you talking about? See what I'm talking about? See what I'm talking about? There's no community. There's no community. When I say I'm talking about your children, my children, the children across the street. I'm talking about the youth. But you see that me mentality that we have going on? Our foundational system is eroding. We are destroying relationships rapidly. And we wonder why some of our relationships look the way they look. Who's she talking about? Speak for yourself, sis. You see what I'm talking about? I'm not talking about you and you internalizing it. This is social media and you can't even stand it. You can't even relate to it. Our children don't know about the golden rule because our adults don't know about the golden rule. Our children don't treat people with respect because our adults are not treating people with respect. Our children are out there fighting because our adults are out there fighting. We see it all the time. That's right, Raw. Raw said they forgot about It Takes a Village. That does not exist anymore here in America. And is eroding other places too. But I can only talk about America. Because we no longer want to be responsible for nobody else. We don't even like to connect with our children's friends anymore. We go on play dates just to come home and talk about our children's friends' parents. And we all do this within earshot of our children, not realizing our children got feelings and emotions too. And our children hear us talking about their friends' parents and talking about their friend. This is what happens. What do you think happens when that child, when they hear you talk negativity all the time? Let me tell you why that happens. Because social media, check this out, y'all. Social media rewards people for creating content that influences others to do things that are attention seeking so that they can get views, so that they can feed you more advertisement. They can sell more advertising slots and spots. They can add ads onto your popular videos. So they're going to share the popular videos because the popular videos that have violence, that has disrespect, that has sexual content, that has child abuse, that has physical abuse, that has racism, that's all the popular videos. They're going to share those videos and they're going to make those people popular so that they can add ads onto their videos so that they can get revenue. They don't care what happens to your family. They don't care what happens to your children. They don't care what happens to your esteem. They don't care what happens to your reputation. They don't care because you don't care. Somebody said, these are the children of the children. Let me tell you about the past. In the past, and when I say the past, let's clarify what I mean when I say in the past. In the past, I'm talking about 20 years ago and more. There was no competition for attention 20 years ago when the internet first came out. There was no competition for attention. 20 years ago, the internet was used to disseminate information, to make it faster for you to get the information you needed. That's what it was 20 years ago. The internet was used in that way. But that isn't and wasn't a money-making system. They have since changed that purposely. And it's taken over. And it's influencing our youth to behave in ways that are unpleasant, in ways that are violent. Let me show you some more videos. Forget about that. I'm going to show y'all some more videos. Hold before I say this. Somebody said, Mikhail says, good evening. A lot of what I hear are parents saying ain't nothing can be done with these kids. And that's some bullshit. If you give up on them, then yeah. But if you show them, they'll learn. Let me tell you something. What they're showing these kids, let me tell you something that happened before I get into this other video. Real story. I ain't lying to y'all. I ain't lying to y'all. Real story. I don't know if it made the news. I don't know if it made RLS out of Newark, New Jersey. No lie. No lie. I'm on the phone with my boo thing. I'm on the phone with my partner. And I hear commotion in the background. And he's standing outside of the precinct. And they run up to him. Officer. They shooting at us. They shooting at us. And I'm hearing him trying to direct them because she hiked. She turned up and she's trying to hike. And I'm hearing a man in the truck say something to my man. And I'm like, what's happening, babe? What's happening? He says, their car just got shot up. And I said, they went to the precinct? I'm going to tell y'all what I said. And he's trying to tell them what to do to get them to safety. And they're yelling, they're screaming, they're so hyped up. But because I know, I said, who are they? What are they? It's a teenager. It's a teenager. She about 16, 17 years old with her daddy, with her father. She out there fighting. She out there acting up. Her daddy got her back. And they chased them down and shot up in cars. A group of girls, a group of teenage girls chased their asses down. I said, babe, get in the building. That's what I said. Because y'all know Newark, you get lit up. You get lit up in Newark. Get in the building. Long story short, but basically what I'm saying to you, we're saying they're learning from the parents. The parents are out there with them. In many situations, the parents are out there with them fighting. The parents are out there with them committing crimes. The parents are out there with them. And for what? So yes, everyone is lost. Everyone is going mad. People are going crazy. Somebody said like the 4th of July, and it ain't even July. There's bullet holes in the car from a group of girls that wanted to get at her. And daddy could have saved her daddy running too. Is his car shut out? You see what I'm saying? No one cares anymore. Now, I'm not going to say back in the days, parents weren't fighting. Because people parents were fighting. But even back in the days, family, the fights had rules. I mean, in y'all area and nobody else fight have rules. I don't know about y'all, but back in the days, if mama came downstairs or daddy was there, they would tell you ain't nobody else jumping up one-on-one square up. Maybe I'm telling too much of my childhood, but that's what it was. Oh, you want to fight my daughter? Put your hair up. Put your hair up. Nobody else jumping in. People are down there with their dogs. Everybody's blocking everybody else to make sure it's one-on-one. That don't happen no more. Now, I'm not saying I'm promoting violence because I'm not promoting violence. We just know that certain things happen. Certain things happen. And if somebody's coming toward you, certain things are going to happen. Certain things are going to happen. If you could be walking down the street like these people here you see in the video, minding their business, and things happen to them. Things happen. Bad things happen to good people. Things are going to happen. But what I'm saying to you is nowadays, there's no rules anymore. There are no rules anymore. Let me show you these children. Let me end by showing you these children are out of control. This is 5 years ago. This is 5 years ago. Now I'm going to show you a video from 12 years ago. These children are... Hold on. These children are out of control, baby. Let me go ahead and show y'all. Somebody said no weapon, straight up hands. It ain't like that no more, baby. Everybody got a weapon. The 13-year-old has a weapon. The 12-year-old has a weapon. The mama has a weapon. The grandma has a weapon. The daddy have a weapon. Everybody got a weapon. And the cops afraid too.
The teens were out looking for a fight, and she just became the unsuspecting target.
Black eye, a busted lip that's kind of going away. I have bruising under my chin.
From head to hips, Lindsay Green is covered in the black and blue evidence of a violent crime.
You can actually see where they were stomping me on both sides.
Bruises where teenagers landed kicks and punches during an unprovoked attack inside this Glen Burnie McDonald's last Saturday night. Now the focus of a full-blown police investigation.
Police are looking for this group of kids, 3 boys and 3 girls, believed to be between the ages of 15 and 17 years old. They're accused of beating up a man who happened to be an off-duty firefighter. Are you surprised?
Not really, because I see a lot of kids around here.
Makes me really sad that someone would do that to someone.
According to police, around 9:30 Saturday morning on East 86th Street between 2nd and 3rd Avenues, the group was deliberately cutting in front of an elderly couple, making it hard for them to share the sidewalk. The 38-year-old off-duty firefighter allegedly told them to cut it out, and police say the man was punched, pushed to the ground, and hit repeatedly.
They're being raised with treating people with no respect anymore, and it's heartbreaking.
Rick, the captain of the homicide division, says that they do believe at least one of the teenagers may have been filming the attack. They've been scouring social media. Additionally, at this point in the investigation, they don't think that there was actually
filming the attack.
Any interaction prior to the beating. They're hoping at the very least somebody will identify these teenagers and also somebody can get through to their parents.
Police are searching for this group of...
Ain't nobody getting through to their parents. Ain't nobody getting through to their parents. Hopefully somebody would get... Ain't nobody getting through to their parents. Parents, ain't nobody getting through to their parents. And nothing ain't going to happen to those kids. Nothing is going to happen. They're going to get a little JD case. They're going to be released. They're going to have some probation, and they're going to continue on with their nonsense. And nothing going to happen to them. Their parents ain't going to get fined. Their parents ain't going to get locked up. There are going to be no consequences for the parents, no consequences for the children. And the only people that's going to suffer the consequences are the victims. That's it. Nothing's going to happen to these kids, and they know it. They know it. Just like drug dealers recruit minors because they're not going to do time. These kids know it. These kids are not stupid. And let me tell y'all, see, I'm about to put that video back on. But in New York City, many of us didn't want to go to Spofford. Now, do y'all know what Spofford is? Do y'all know what Spofford is? Man, shoot. You ain't want to get picked up by the cops back in the days. You ain't want to get caught in no fight back in the days. You ain't want to get caught with no knife on you back in the days. If you had a blade, you better know how to hide that blade back in the day, because ain't nobody wanted to go to Spofford. Nowadays, do these kids go anywhere? They damn well have to kill somebody to be arrested and detained. Nowadays, these kids know they'll get in a fight today, and the minute the police officer at the station get to their fifth finger of printing them, their mamas and their daddies are there to pick them up. Their grandmas are there to pick them up. Their aunties, maybe even people who are fronting like to be their parents, they ain't even their parents, are picking them up. Ain't nothing happening to these kids. Get in contact with their parents. Girl, goodbye. Their parents don't care. And some of us even afraid of talking to their parents. Some of us don't even want to bring their parents any type of bad news because we don't know what kind of parents they have. And like somebody said earlier, the apple don't fall too far from the tree. If the child is disrespectful, the first thing we all assume, the mama and the daddy are disrespectful too, and I don't want no beef. If the child can tell the teacher to suck his you know what, I am not having conversations with your daddy, because your daddy going to be disrespectful. Your mama going to be disrespectful, and your grandma too. The teachers can't control these kids. The parents can't control the kids. 5-0 can't control the kids. Who we going to? If you can get in contact with the parents. Everybody watching the news and everybody's, you know who child, please, whatever. She saw that news. I ain't saying nothing to her. You ain't gonna catch me talking to her, child, please. I ain't got nothing to do with that. She got a nasty mouth. She nasty. She want to fight everybody. I ain't got nothing to say. This is what happens. Let me finish this video so I can give y'all a takeaway. I'm out of here. I'm out of here. This is 10 months ago.
Teenagers responsible for the brutal beating death of a 73-year-old man at 21st and Cecil B. Moore Friday, June 24th, around 2:30 in the morning. In total, police say 4 males and 3 females followed the victim, identified as James Lambert. Watch as they use a traffic cone not once but twice to attack the victim. He suffered injuries to his head. Homicide Captain Jason Smith said at least 2 teens partook in the beating, and the medical examiner ruled Lambert's death as blunt force trauma.
To the parents of these juveniles, I think that the best course of action would be for them to contact an attorney and then contact the homicide unit.
Contact an attorney? Contact an attorney? They ain't contacting an attorney. The mamas and the daddies ain't doing a damn thing. They know them kids gonna do 6 months in JD. 6 months in JD. And they're gonna be about their business. Contact an attorney.
Police say there are other recent crimes they are looking into for a possible connection, but did not say which ones. The same day as Lambert's assault at 8:30 in the evening, a group of teens critically injured a 53-year-old man who was walking in the 1600 block of Mount Vernon Street. Those teens were arrested.
I think it was a terrible thing that anyone get assaulted. Is even worse when a senior citizen gets assaulted.
Today, seniors.
Right now, police are looking for 2 teens they say attacked a man in Manhattan. According to investigators, it happened shortly before 7 at night, November 3rd, near Henry and Pike Streets. Police say the suspects approached the victim and started throwing punches. They took off, but then came back with a toy stroller and curtain rod. As the suspects were hitting the man with those objects, police say the victim put down his bag, and that's when the suspects took the bag and ran off. Anyone with any information on the attack should call police. Katie Johnston for CBSNewYork.com.
Now at 11.
Here you go, y'all. Here your white kids. Here your white children. Here we go. Here your white children. If you look for it, you'll find them. I said, let me find the white kids, because I know the white kids acting up too. Here they go. Here you white children, y'all. For somebody said black boys, there's black women. I mean, black boys, black girls, white girls. They all crazy.
This disturbing new video is part of an active investigation by police in Newport Beach. It shows multiple teenagers attacking an older man in a crosswalk. It's not clear what led to the attack. It doesn't last very long. As you can see, the older man hit the pavement hard. A bystander comes to his defense, and the attackers then take off. This is in the area of East Balboa Boulevard and Main Street. It happened a little after 10 o'clock Saturday night. The victim was taken to the hospital and is in stable condition.
Turgovnik and his 74-year-old mother were traveling in their SUV down Fifth Avenue at 22nd Street in the Flatiron District when the group of bicyclists surrounded them, some holding on to the SUV for a ride, until Turgovnik says one cyclist fell and set off an angry mob attack, bashing windows and throwing their bikes onto the hood, one running up and shattering the windshield with the full weight of his body, all while their biking buddies laughed and cheered.
Let me tell you about that one real quick, because I saw some nonsense on social media, and they felt, well, he shouldn't have slammed on his brake. I saw somebody write this. This is the nonsense I'm talking about. See the nonsense I'm talking about? They said the driver should not have slammed on his brake, causing one of the teenagers on the bike to fall. And if he didn't do that, that would have never happened to him. Why is a teenager holding on to his car while he's driving down the street? Why are they around his car holding on to them so their car can pull? Why is that okay? But now he deserves what he got because he slammed on his brakes or stepped on his brakes, whatever they said. And because he stepped on the brake, he caused the teen to fall. And this is what I read in a lot of the comments. And that's what he get. So it's okay that these teens are endangering themselves and harassing people. Baby, when y'all kids get sent home in a casket, y'all gonna sue everybody, right? You're gonna have Lee Merritt, or whatever Lee the attorney is. You're gonna have Lee there. You're gonna have Al Sharpton there. You're gonna have all the angry mobbing Black activists there. All your kids gonna be good kids who didn't create anything. He ain't trying to hurt nobody. That should never happen. Why he ran over my child with the car? If he didn't slam on the brakes, the kids would have never did that. It was wrong. He should have never kept going. They're children. That's the problem. They don't see our children as children. And this is why they treat them like that. That's the narrative. Ben Crumplin's, yeah, right. Ben Crump and Lee Merritt, right? Something like that. That's the narrative. Everybody's child is good. Everybody's child was college bound. Everybody's child was on honor rolls. Everybody's child didn't deserve that. Baby boy. Bye.
If you visit Dewey Bluth Park on a
there's the other white people, y'all.
Tuesday afternoon, it's pretty peaceful. It's got joggers, tennis players, families hanging out. But on Monday afternoon, in broad daylight, a man was beaten unconscious by a group of teens.
It's sad because that was being recorded for entertainment, and people, you've seen the video, and there are people laughing, and there's people in the video, they're egging on the attack.
In this video sent to Fox 13 News by a parent, you can hear students encouraging the violence, and they continue to stomp on his head as he lays on the concrete, unconscious.
On the flip side of that coin, because that all got recorded, our officers were able to quickly identify the four main players or suspects in that case.
Sergeant Greg Moffitt says two 15-year-olds, a 16-year-old, and a 17-year-old are facing aggravated assault charges.
When you're looking at juvenile,
The alarming video shows Leanne Hindi pleading for mercy as two young men punch her and push her to the ground.
I just remember being thrown over to the ground and trying to get control over myself, but it was so quick and so sudden.
Leanne says she repeatedly told her attackers she was 3 months pregnant, to which one suspect allegedly responded, "I will kill your kid."
I just was trying to cover myself. That's all I was thinking about, was just covering my tummy.
I seen him spit on her and then started attacking her.
Witnesses jumped in to help. Leanne's boyfriend tried to fend off the attackers. Even an elderly man in the red hat there steps in, throwing multiple punches. Leanne cannot understand what triggered the violence, but says she was feeling nauseous from her pregnancy and vomiting near the sidewalk of Quincy's downtown post office Tuesday evening.
Then all of a sudden, these kids came over and started laughing at me because I wasn't feeling well, and I was just, hunched over holding my stomach. And then the kid proceeded to keep laughing and then spit on me.
Police arrested 19-year-old Tyrese Johnson, nurse, and 18-year-old David Russell. And Leanne is grateful so many strangers risked their safety to help her.
Thank God for the citizens, and thank God for my boyfriend who came right to my rescue to help me. And if it wasn't for them, I don't know if I would be okay.
Now she lucky. She lucky because ain't nobody trying to intervene. Ain't nobody trying to intervene ever. I don't know. She lucky, baby. Because nowadays people just recording and uploading. That's it. And here's yours from 12 years ago. Now, I want y'all to start thinking about this as we close out. When did social media, somebody said guilty, so the queen saying she just recorded, the queen saying I ain't helping nobody. I'm like, damn, call 911. That's effed up, yo. That's effed up. Yo, that's crazy. Yeah, girl, I'm on my way right there right now. I'm on my way. I'll see you later. That's what's happening. That's what's happening. That is what's happening, right? So when did social media first come out, y'all? Do y'all remember the year where social media really took off, where it became really popular and everybody was like addicted to it? It's getting worse. But when did it first come out, y'all? Right? Yes, Mr. B. Mr. B said World Star made it cool to upload violent videos. Isn't World Star still in existence, right? Isn't World Star still in existence? And aren't people still uploading those violent videos, right? So it was around the 2007 year. And a lot of people started to join Facebook. A lot of people started to join Facebook. So yes, somebody said the MySpace. It did start with MySpace. And in Facebook, everyone started to join Facebook like 2008, 2009, around that time, right? Became really popular. So we're talking about less than 20 years ago, right? Here's your last video for y'all. Here's your video. Just keep that in mind, because I know all the videos I showed you, everyone's saying COVID is making them mad crazy. It's COVID, it's COVID, it's COVID. Ever since COVID, people started getting violent. It might be an unrelated correlation, but here's from 2011. Here you go. 3 years.
My mouth was bleeding. I had blood coming out of my mouth that night.
This woman and her Marine husband faced a beatdown by a mob of unruly teenagers outside a Bradenton movie theater after asking the teens to quiet down during the show. For the first time tonight, we're hearing from that couple who are still dealing with injuries days after that attack. All new at 11, Chris Martinez spoke with them tonight and joins us now with their story. Chris, how are they doing?
Well, Jameson, we actually caught.
Philadelphia police are reviewing this video taken abroad in Cecil B. Moore. It shows a group of teens beating a man outside the subway station at around 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon.
Traffic cone was being thrown. They were circling him, hitting him, tugging.
This is Temple University. Temple University in Philadelphia. Okay? And in this video, this last one right here, ain't nobody, not even the security guards hired by Temple, jumped in. You saw the men with the yellow vest. They work for Temple University to provide security. They let that man get his behind whooped, baby. And now the community is concerned.
At him. Veronica Rinn and a friend were walking back to her apartment at that time and can be seen here trying to help.
He was cornered, fell to the ground, and they began to circle him and beat him.
Rinn says her frustration lies with private campus security.
Right here. Right here. Y'all see private campus on a bike? Far left-hand corner with the yellow, that's security.
Guards seen wearing bright yellow parkas standing by.
No one stepped in except us. That's a problem. They didn't do enough.
There you go. There you go. That's it. Mr. B says, the news started showing more violence too. They have. They used to not show it as much. Everyone is desensitized. A whole generation raised showing violence. Right? Yeah, remember that movie? Remember that movie? I better go back and watch that movie again from back in the day, right? Children of the Corn, baby. They are out of control. So let's wrap this up. So there's not one reason why our children are impacted. There's peer influence, right? The need to be popular, the need to fit in, the need to prove themselves to their friends, to their peers. All of that stuff is a part of it. There's cultural influence. And when I say cultural, you got to think about it. Culture is not a black or white thing. Culture is a set of ideas, beliefs, traditions, behaviors. That's what culture is. So when you have children and the culture has changed so much from, give me 1 second, y'all. I'm sorry. All right. The culture has changed so much from when we were growing up. Nowadays, the culture is popularity, is fame, is proving a point, is violence. These children are not, they don't knock on doors anymore and say, hi, Miss Shonna, can so-and-so come outside with us? Get your bike, buddy. We going bike ride. Ain't nobody doing that anymore. There's no rules where the traffic light comes on. You come in the house. That's not happening anymore. People don't know who people's parents are anymore. Children are in homes of other people's houses and parents don't know they're there. The culture has shifted. The culture has shifted. We even seen it earlier in the chat. You shouldn't take no children's property. You shouldn't take no children. The culture has shifted. Back in the days, children were children, adults were adults, and children stayed out of adults' business. That is not the case anymore. The culture has shifted for the children. The culture has shifted for their parents. Parents are fighting. Children are fighting. Parents are having road rage and can't control their emotions. They got anger management issues. They got emotional management issues. The children can't do it. Parents can't express their emotions. They can't sit down and have a conversation without yelling and screaming, attacking, calling names, putting hands on people. Parents can't do it. The children can't do it. Parents are out there acting kind of hoish. Children are out there acting hoish. The culture has shifted. So the culture is influencing how our children are behaving, just like it's influencing how the adults are behaving. And then you also have social influence, which is a little different than cultural influence. That social influence is talking about, here's your status. So everybody now want to have status. You got people looking perfect on social media. You got people on social media and they telling you all this status they have. And I'm scratching my head and I'm saying to myself, do I see Mark Zuckerberg doing live videos constantly and posting things constantly and sharing what he's eating, sharing what he's drinking, sharing where he's staying at, sharing what vacation he's going on? Do I see Elon Musk doing all of that stuff? Do I see Robert Smith? If y'all don't know who Robert Smith is, you got to look him up. Do I see Robert Smith doing all of that stuff constantly on social media? No, I don't see these people doing none of that stuff. Do I see, what's his name? That owns that cable company, the black man that owns the cable company. What's his name again? I feel, I don't know how I feel about him. But you gotta tell me his name. Oh my God, I'm drawing a blank. But the point is, do I see him on social media like that, sharing what he's eating, what he's drinking, where he's going? Him and his wife just posing, taking naked pictures. Ain't nobody doing nothing like that. So if they really making money, yes, Byron Allen. If Byron and them really making money, these people on social media telling you they making money, and y'all believe them, y'all give them people y'all money. I be scratching my head like. That's how they got money, because they taking your money because you believe the things that they telling you, but they on social media all day. And we know that social media is addicting. We know that they're on social media because they like their likes, they like their views, they like their following, they like their shares, they like their commentary, they like their blue check status. They like, now you can buy the blue check, right? Anybody can buy it now. But they like all of this stuff. They on social media every day. And I refuse to have anybody make me feel like, girl, you gotta be on social. I haven't been on here how many days, y'all? Ain't that serious? I got other stuff to do. I got other stuff to do. And I will not be socially influenced by social media. I will not. I will not. Right? Somebody said Steve Jobs, talking about the Bible, right? Steve Jobs didn't give his kids phones. The political panel asked Mark Zuckerberg, would he tell people the hotel, is he comfortable telling people the hotel he stayed in last night? He said, no, he's not. They said, are you comfortable sharing who your friends are? He laughed. He said, no, I am not. He didn't even get it. He want y'all to do what he's not willing to do because he knows the dangers of that. He knows the dangers of that. And this is happening among many teens, not just Black teens. This is happening among Black teens, white teens, Hispanic teens, Indian teens. Trust me, it may not be that much with the Indian and the Asians, but it's happening. It's happening, y'all. Affluent teen. I don't know if y'all saw that video. I should have put that video there. Group of Asian kids went into Chinatown and tore up that man's restaurant, scared the hell out of everybody eating. They even broke the main glass, the glass to the store, knocked the glass. Asian kids in an Asian restaurant. Y'all better believe it is happening everywhere. It's happening among the affluent kids, poor kids, single parent household, 2-parent households, honor roll students, special ed students. It's happening everywhere. And you know why? I'm going to tell you why it's happening, and I'm going. It's happening because parents have lost control of the children. Schools have lost control of the children. Law enforcement have lost control of the children. Churches have lost control of the children. Communities have lost control of the children. The government has lost control of the children, and society as a whole have lost control of the children. How do we fix it? That's the question I'm leaving with you all tonight. How do we fix it? You can put your answers in the chat. You can share it with other people. I want you to start having these conversations in your inner circles. Start having these conversations with your coworkers, your friends, your communities. Try to formulate little groups that are with people who are interested in problem solving. If we come to the table to do think tanks, if we come to the table to do business meetings where we're sharing ideas and stuff, if we come because we want to make more money so we can come together, we can collaborate together to make more money, to share ideas, to go to think tanks, to have meetup groups. We do all this stuff when it comes to getting the bag. We need to do these same things when it comes to saving the kids. Have these conversations. Have the conversations with your children. Have the conversations with your partner. Whether it's the children's mother, the children's father, step parents, step families, friends, neighbors, have the conversation. How do we fix it? Brainstorm some ideas that you can start to implement in your home. Start having these conversations with your children. Start implementing things that bring in connection, that enhance relationships. Like I told you guys before, Sunday dinners. Make sure you do your Sunday dinners. Have game night once a month. You ain't got to do these things weekly. I can understand these things can become overwhelming, but do game night. Do Sunday dinners. Go on family outings together. And it doesn't have to be an expensive outing. Just do something together as a family. Do something. Do something. Invite other people. Stop judging people. Stop judging people. I just now connected with one of my son finally made a friend in school. I don't know why my kids always have a hard time making friends. My kids are awkward. I love them, but they're awkward. Very smart though, and that's okay, baby. We like them smart, baby. We like them smart and pretty. All them kids are attractive, baby. All my kids are attractive. We like them smart and pretty. But anyway, my youngest son made a friend. And so I'm saying, okay, now he got a friend. Now I got to become friends with the parents, or at least associates with the parents. And I used to always do that with my older kids. We have to do that again. Now, his friend parents are way different than I am. Way different. I'm talking about personality. Everything's different. I don't even know how conscious they are. One of them is heavily into the church. We're different. But I ain't judging them. I'm not judging them because my son loves to play with their son, their babies. And we got to teach them how to build relationships. So we all talking and stuff, and we text each other. We share information. And I'm starting to think, okay, they're interested. They're different. They're interested, And I said to the dad and the dad's girlfriend, I said, look, I'm going to have to keep you and your ex-wife separate. I'm going to have to build a relationship with both of y'all because y'all share houses with the kids. So I'm going to have to build a relationship with both of y'all. But you and your girl can come over, he said, with the kids or without the kids. I said, let me know. You want to come over with the kids? You want to come out without the kids? And if you want to come with the kids, then I'll make sure I have activities set up for the kids. And maybe we could play Family Twister or something like that. He's like, yo, that's dope. I haven't done it in a long time. I said, oh, we have games in this house. We play games. And he's all hyped. And I said, then we're going to have some time without the kids. And I have a full bar in my house. So we can go ahead. I can hire a bartender. We can do dinner and everything. We can have a whole bunch of fun. So he's already hyped about it, right? Because I got to build a friendship or some type of connection, not necessarily a friendship. I got to build a relationship with them so I can trust them with my child. And they can trust me with their child. So if I'm going to great adventures or they're going to great adventures and I build a relationship with them, I feel more comfortable saying, cool, we can all go, or you could take my son with you. Right? And whenever he has my son taking pictures, he's in communication with me. He's sending pictures of them, what they're doing. Let me know where I'm at. And whenever I have his son, I'm doing the same thing. Or I'm taking him to go get something to eat. Any allergies and restrictions, we got to get back to that. We got to get back to this, y'all. We can do it, y'all. So how do we fix it? Y'all have a great night. Love you all.